Hi guys, okay, we're going to do a no-buy update and I'm going to tell you how I just failed in a massive way this past week. So one of the comments from last week's video that really stood out to me after the fact was actually about gifting and how easy it is to justify spending when the spending is for a gift for somebody else. And yes, 100% I agree. She was actually saying what a great job I'd done in being able to say no to the children's requests. And if only she'd known. What I didn't consider when we started out at the beginning of June and I decided to do a no-buy was what kind of month ahead I was going to have in terms of expenses. I hadn't considered that it was going to be Father's Day. Hadn't forgotten, just hadn't really thought about it. And at the end of the month is my brother's 30th birthday. So that's 3 gifts, 2 kind of, in theory, lesser gifts, 1 more substantial gift that I hadn't budgeted for because I don't do that. And I hadn't really thought about when I decided to do a no-buy. Now, in actual fact, it's still a great thing that I did a no-buy personally this month because I would have spent even more. So I'm still taking it as a win. And although I have failed, and we will discuss that, I'm trying to see it as a let's draw a line under it and get back on track. And I think quite possibly July is going to roll straight back into another no-buy because of how epically I allowed myself to slip. So first of all, I have literally nothing for my dad yet. I haven't even considered what I could possibly get him. I mean, maybe something for the garden. My dad's really difficult to buy for. I can't get him the same aftershave for every event. I'm thinking of maybe getting him like a plant or a little tree for the garden, something. I don't know. And as you watch this, it's Father's Day, so hopefully I've made my mind up by now, but I really don't know. Lee never ever buys things for himself, ever. And so whenever there's a gifting occasion, we don't do Christmas presents, but we do birthdays and Father's and Mother's Day. I will try to get something that I know he would love, that he could buy for himself, but he won't do that because he's sensible and realizes he doesn't need these things. And so he saves his money. So I spend it on his behalf. So I try to get something that I know he really would like rather than, you know, something I want to buy for him. So this Father's Day, I decided to get him a weight bench. He's got a little area of the shed outside where he's working out in the shed rather than going back to the gym, which already saving himself money. And I made this weight bench. I don't know if you've ever tried to put together a weight bench by yourself. It's quite complicated and it's very high pressure because it's not like putting together like a chest of drawers. If you get it wrong, they could be killed. So quite high pressure putting together this weight bench, quite stressful, but he loves it. It's job well done. In my opinion, that's money well spent. Although it wasn't the cheapest gift I could have bought for him, he's going to use it every single day and maybe I'll use it. Who knows? Probably won't, but maybe I will. So now we've got a weight bench in the garden, in the shed for him to use. I feel good about that. I don't feel that that is where I've fallen down a hole. I think that that was money well spent. Where I fell down was my brother's birthday. I didn't know what I was going to get for him. I went between loads of different things. For a while I was thinking I was going to get him something kind of gimmicky and I was going to get him something like from our childhood or get him something like Pokemon-y or, you know, like relive your youth type thing. He's a very young 30, but you know, I couldn't think what to get for him. I didn't want to get something that was just a complete waste of money. I wanted to get him something practical because he's a practical guy. And I've been thinking about this for months, just couldn't get it. And then as soon as I was on a no-buy and wasn't able to spend wildly, which I shouldn't have been doing in the first place, that's why we're doing this. But as soon as I was on a no-buy and I was restricted, I came up with the genius idea to gift my brother a garden makeover. Now, if you know me at all, I think we can all see through that offer and see that it was actually an entirely selfish gift. I've, by this point, already posted the video on my vlog channel showing you what I did in the day that I did his garden. And I've had lots of comments like, oh, you're such a good sister. Oh, this is such a nice thing to do. So thoughtful. Such a blah, 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 blah. Don't get it twisted. This was for me. I asked him if he would be interested. He's lived in this house for 5 years. It's a new build. He's done a few, he's like planted some things down the sides, very, very little. Still had some plastic garden furniture that was gifted from my parents when he moved in. It wasn't a usable space at all. It was just kind of like grass. Hadn't painted his shed. It was all almost as if he'd just moved in. So it was a blank slate. I saw like, wow, okay, I could do something really cool with this on a budget in theory. And it would be a practical gift that would actually give him something usable and potentially add value to his house. That's a massive potential, but potentially this is how I was justifying it in my mind. So I went in thinking I'll do this very small thing, a little corner, this, I'll put this. I'm reusing a lot of stuff, so that's free. Some old furniture we had, some old furniture mum and dad had. I repainted an old chimney, so that was like all fresh and new. In my mind, it was a super cheap project I could probably knock out for like less than £100. Less than £100. I think that's okay for his 30th birthday. I think that's a good deal. When I really sat down and kind of tried to work it out yesterday, because Lee said, what do you think you spent? And I was like, oh, like £100. I don't think that's bad for what I did. Realistically, when I really totted it up, it was probably twice that. And that's not what I would have spent on a gift. He probably, you know, he probably would have quite liked that cash. I wouldn't have spent that. And why did I spend that? And I think we know. Because there was shopping involved. Because there was spending money involved. It wasn't just one. If you'd said, there's this thing that you can buy and it's £200, I'd have been like, that's too expensive. There are lines. And I think that is an overspend. Because I was, oh, I'll just nip here. I'll just go to B&Q. I'll just go to B&M. Oh, I'll just go on Amazon and order these lights. I'll just go on whatever. It spiraled very, very quickly. You also can never have too much gravel. So I just kept going back for 6 more bags of gravel. Just 6 more bags of gravel. I just get 6 more bags of gravel. It's never enough. And I didn't really allow myself to work it out as I was going because I knew I was overspending. And I can only imagine it's a little bit like other kinds of addictions where you know it's happening at the time and you know you're going to have to evaluate what you've done. Because I'm doing it, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. We'll talk about this later. I know. Like, you're going to B&M again. I know. We'll deal with this later. I'm just doing this right now and then we'll deal with it later. I'm having those conversations with myself and I know. And it didn't need to go that way. I could have kept it smaller. I could have done it cheaper. But I was enjoying shopping and spending money. And, oh, I'll just pop to this thing. Oh, I'll just get this. And, oh, I've got this idea. And, oh, I'll just get some paint for the shed. I wasn't going to paint the shed, but now I'll paint the shed. Oh, but I'll need this as well. It just got away from me. And I think now, quite possibly, because there's been so many things this month that I've thought, oh, I'd really like this. I'd really like that. There's been so many hot days and I've thought, I'd really quite like a new like throw-on summer dress from Primark. In fact, I still haven't taken those Primark clothes back. As soon as I take the Primark clothes back, I'm going to actually just swap them for like a summer dress because I really want another casual summer dress. But my point is, I've not bought those things. I've said no. I've been like, no, you can't spend £10 on this. You can't spend £15 on this. But as soon as it was for someone else, it was like money was no object, which is not true. Money is definitely an object and I need to rein it in. So although, again, I'm not sliding back into that pattern of credit cards and debt and whatever, it still is the habits that took me in that direction in the first place. So I still need to get a handle on saying no to myself. And I thought it was worth bringing up this particular subject because I can't tell you anything that I didn't buy this week because everything I wanted to buy I bought. And I bought it for someone else. And so it didn't count, but it does. And I think that especially around this time of year, there's always birthdays in the summer. I feel like, what is it? Are people just bored in the wintertime? So everyone's born in the summertime. There's so many birthdays in the summer, especially around now. And we will revisit this at Christmas time. Just remember that gifting for other people, you still need a budget. It's still money and you still should be able to justify it and you still kind of need to justify it. It's not free money because it's a gift. it isn't. That said, I don't regret spending the money because I think the garden looks great and I'm happy to have spent it, but I wanted to address it because I did, in terms of my current goals, money goals, that was a big fail. And I feel that since we're talking about this, I am accountable, and you guys kind of being on the other end of this conversation is really helpful, because under normal circumstances I'd have just been like, well, you know, I failed, we'll try again next month. It can't work like that. I'm drawing a line, I'm continuing on. I will let you know next week how I'm going on, if I've completely broken or not. And yeah, I think we're going to probably roll this through to July because I clearly need a little more practice.